So see here, everybody. Today's example is very, very important. Why I'm telling it is very, very important because next program which I'm going to explain to you, it is very big program. And to understand that program, you need to understand today's program. And it is very easy to understand. I believe it will take only half an hour of time to explain today's class. And I will wind up the class. Okay, don't worry. Example is very small and very easy. So first, let me explain to you what actually I want to develop. So assume that I am going to take one paint here. I want to take one paint. See here, assume that this is a controller, sir. This is a controller. Which controller it is? It is nothing but it is a employee controller. Okay, this is the employee controller. I will create one employee controller. And what employee controller will do? I will tell to the employee controller, employee controller, suppose if I am giving the request to you, or if I am giving any data to you, you try to insert the data in the database. Where we want to insert? We want to insert into database. But tell me, controller can interact with the database software directly? Not possible, sir. Remember, controller will not interact with the database. So here we need to take the support of employee repository. Employee repository we need to use. So with the help of this employee repository only, we can interact with the database. I told you now, in Spring Boot, we are not writing the queries. In Spring Boot, I don't want to write select query. In Spring Boot, I don't want to write insert query. In Spring Boot, I don't want to write update query, delete query. I will take the support of predefined methods which are there in the repositories. And what I told yesterday, Spring Boot data JPA dependency contains how many repositories? 3 repositories. One is CRUD repository, paging and sorting repository, and last one is JPA repository. So these are the 3 repositories are there. So our employee controller will take the support of employee repository. And what employee repository will do, you know, here employee repository will take the model class. This is known as what here? Model class. So don't ask me, Arey sir, which model here? This is known as what here? Model class. Model is nothing but what here? Pojo class. Nothing but which one? Employee. So employee will be there here. Employee will be there here. Employee means employee ID, employee name, employee salary, setter methods, getter methods. That I will declare inside employee model. So now what happened, you know, that model only will store inside the database. Because Spring Boot is taking the support of Spring Data JPA. JPA is not storing the variables, it is storing the entities. Entities means one class. So one employee is one entity. So one employee will store inside what your table. So here we are taking the support of one database. One database we are using here. So let me tell you, this database is known as what here? H2 database. Which database I am taking? H2 database I am using. So H2 database I am using. So now you can see controller is interacting with what? Repository. Repository interacting with what? Database. What is storing? What is storing? Model. What is storing? Model is storing. But sir, I have one doubt, sir. What is my requirement is very simple. My requirement is here I want JSP file also. JSP file also I required. So here what I will do, this is my end user. So let me say this is known as what here? End user. So let me say this is known as what here? End user. This is the end user. So we are giving the request to the controller. We are giving the request to whom? Controller. Okay, so remember that point. We are giving the request to controller. Controller will take employee repository. Employee repository will store the data in H2 database. Okay, so this is what my application. Actually, I want to develop this application today. So now you comes here. Now you comes here. As I told you, project creation is only 15 to 20 minutes only. Don't worry. So see here what I'm going to give you here. Here I'm giving Spring Boot application to interact with H2 database. I gave you the diagram here. Diagram Spring Boot 3.1. Okay, 3 point. Today's third class, first diagram. So now you comes here. I am creating my project name as MVC APP2. But you need to understand by seeing the diagram, sir. In the diagram, you can find controller. Yes, controller. You can find repository. And you can find H2 database. So means you need to add 3 dependencies. Spring Web dependency, Spring Data JPA dependency, H2 database dependency. Understood my point here now? So don't ask me tomorrow. Sir, how do you know that? Controller means Spring Web. Repository means Spring Data JPA. H2 means H2 database. So now you can see here H2. So I am creating file, new, Spring Starter project. And here I will say MVC APP2. Remaining, I am not doing any changes. You know very well, it's a Java 8, it's a Maven, it's a jar, it's a Java, it's a com.ihub.ww, everything is same. Click next. Here we need to select. Tell me which is the first one? Spring Web. Already yesterday we selected na. Click. Spring Web came. Next is what? Spring Data JPA. Spring Data JPA. What is there here? Spring Data JPA. Click. Spring Data JPA came. Even I told you cancel. I told you H2 database. Total how many dependencies? 3 dependencies. Next, finish. Wait for some time. Don't disturb your project. If you disturb your project, project will disturb you. Understand my point? Don't disturb. Really. Don't disturb to the project. Wait, you can see right side. How much percent? 66%, 80%. Wait for some time. Don't disturb. Don't disturb anybody. Even me also in the class. Okay. So now what happened, you know, we created what? MVC APP2. Our project is ready. Now what I said first I will create a controller. Because as per my diagram, we are giving the request to whom? Controller. But controller I will not create in the main file. Main file I will not create. See the diagram. See the diagram. I will take separate controller for package. Inside that I will create employee controller. I will take separate repository package. I will create employee repository. I will take separate model package. I will create a model. And understood my point here now? So for everyone I am taking what? Separate package. It's a rule. And tell me what is your base package? com.ihub.ww. And remember, you take any package, whether it's a controller, repository, model, everyone must have what? Base package common. What package common? Base package must be common. So now we need to take how many packages? 3 packages. Controller package, repository package, model package. So now you go there. Now you comes here. Now go to MVC APP2. Now go to main Java. Go to main Java. So right click to main Java, new package, com.ihub.ww.controller. Again, main Java, right click, new package, com.ihub.ww.repository. Main Java, right click, new package, com.ihub.ww.model. We have created. Like this, we created, sir. Okay, now we got an idea. Now we need to go to which controller? First, we will create model. Remember, first, what we should design is nothing but model. So now let's go to the model. Right click, new class. What's the name of my class? Employee. Finish. Now you decide what you want here. See here, I want three properties. Three properties means variables. We never say variables here. We always pronounce properties. Understood my point here now? So total how many properties I required? Three properties. Don't disturb here. Don't disturb. Wait. It's loading. I told you now. Minimum how much GB? 16 GB. If you don't have 16 GB, system will get slow. It is I have laptop. It's not my laptop. It is having 8 GB. Don't worry. Okay now. So now what I want to do now? Here we need to go to the what here? Before class. Before class. This is, I am telling, it's an entity annotation. Entity means this is the object you need to save in the database. It is from Jakarta. Jakarta persistence. So I am telling this is the object. This is the entity. You need to store in the what? Table. So what? At the rate, what I'm using? Table annotation means if you want, what should be my table name? Whatever my class name is there. At the rate table means I need same table name, whatever is my class name is there. No, sir, I don't need employee, I need employees. That time you can write what? Name, what I can make it? Employees. Now your class name is employee, but your table name is employees. Understood na difference? But currently I'm not taking, I'm taking directly what? Table. Same name, class name, table name, both are same. Next is what here? Private int employee ID, private string employee name, private double employee salary. Total how many variables? How many properties? Three properties. First property is @ID, primary key. What it is? Primary key, but we don't know what is primary key. Primary key means it will not accept null values. It will not accept duplicate values. Your roll number. Tell me your roll number is a primary key only, na? It can be null, it can be duplicate, no, that is called what? Primary key. Okay, sir. But second one I want to take @column. @column. Third one also I need to take @column. Means whatever is my variable name is there, same name should be column names. Understood now? Got an idea? What is your class name? That is your table name. What is your variable name? Employee ID. That is only your column name. Sir, I don't need employee name, sir. I don't need employee name. You can write here name, e-name. Now tell me, what is your name of the column? E-name. But what is your property name? Employee name. But I am taking same names. Because it's a first example. I don't want to disturb. I want to take same names. My class name, table name must be same. My variables and column names must be same. And now we need to create a setter getter, select, right click, source, generate getters and setters. As I told you, it will take time. You can find only annotations now. And this will be the last time I'm using this laptop. Next is what here? After employee salary generate. Yes. What came? Setters, getters came. Very good. Finish. Now what we need to do next? Now what is ready? Model is ready. Now immediately we need to go to the repository. Which repository? Employee repository. But employee repository is an interface. Don't create class. So repository is always interface. Right click, new, what? Interface. What is the name? Employee repository. Now open that employee repository. You need to wait for some time. Now employee repository created or not? Yes. So now we need to annotation with what? Repository. Then only it becomes employee repository. So let's say repository. And one more thing it is, I am extending with the first one. Who is the first one? Sorry, who is the first one? Crude repository. Who is the first one? Crude repository. 3 repositories, na? Crude, paging and sorting, and one more JPA repository. So I'm using what? Crude repository. First one I need to give model name. What's the model name? Employee. What is your ID? ID is integer, na? Sir, I didn't understand, sir. What does it mean ID integer? You go and check primary key. What is the primary key? Int. That's why here we should write integer. So now repository is also ready. What is ready? Repository is also ready, sir. So now we need to go to the controller. So remember, controller we are creating at the last, at the end. So first we are creating model, then we are creating repository, then we need to come to the what? Controller. Okay, sir, we got an idea. So now let's go here. What I will do, I will go here. Controller, right click, new class, employee controller. Wait for some time. Patience. Some people are there. Arey, not working. Click. Total system will get hang. Wait, sir, wait. That's why we never take suggestions from youngsters. Okay? We will take from only aged persons only. So now you can see what is available now. Employee controller. Employee controller is available. So here we need to write which controller? Controller annotation. Controller. Now comes here. Now here what I will do, here also, I will do one thing. I will take a public string. What's the method? Home, like yesterday. Return. What return? Index.jsp at the rate what? Request mapping / home. So tell me now, I am telling whenever I am giving / home, so it should return what file? No, sir, not home. I will write only /. / means whenever I run the project, whenever I execute the project, first request will go to whom? Index.jsp only. Remember the first request will go to index.jsp. So, and even I told you, if index.jsp is available, we need to add one more dependency, na? Tomcat embed Jasper dependency. So now whenever you find JSP, so first of all, what I will do, see here everybody, I will go to the what here. We need to add this dependency. Go to the pom.xml file. Pom.xml file is here. Open the pom.xml file. And after web, paste safe. It is adding the dependencies. Okay, we are adding the dependencies. Now everybody focus. So tell me what I am returning? Index.jsp. So immediately I need to go to what? Index.jsp. Everybody focus. Where I am going? SRC main what? So now you can see here. Go to SRC. Wait here. Project is creating. Don't disturb. Otherwise, project will disturb us. Wait. Spring Boot is like that only. You should have good internet and don't disturb to the project when it is creating during the creation time. So everybody now you focus where I need to go. SRC. What is there here? Main. Main only we need to take what here? New folder. What is the folder? Web app. And inside web app, I'm directly creating. I'm not creating pages. Yesterday we created what? Pages. I'm directly creating what? Index.jsp. So now index.jsp will open. Array, it is coming like this. Close. I don't need in Visual Studio Code. You do right click, open with text editor. It will open here only. Now tell me, I will take one form, sir. I will take one form. So you know already HTML. HTML already covered now. So I will not stress more example on HTML. What I am taking, tell me. Form. Leave it this action. Table I am taking. Table what? Center. Employee ID, employee name, employee salary, reset button, submit button. Tell me, whenever I click on submit button, where I am telling to go? Add employee, again it will be there in the controller. So whenever I run the project, index.jsp is coming. In index.jsp, you are giving ID, name, salary, submit. So once if you submit, again it is going to what? Add employee again where it is available? Controller. So inside the controller it is available. So you can see here, you will be getting an idea. So now what happens, controller is there here. This is a controller. But controller cannot send the data to database. So controller need which object? Repository. So we will do what we will do here, we will perform dependency injection. Dependency injection we can achieve with the help of auto wired annotation. For whom? Employee repository. Let's say ER or whatever it may be. So I need to take employee repository like this. So now same thing I'm going to do here. Same thing I'm going to do here. So see here everybody. First here I will say @auto wired. For which one? Employee repository. E small employee repository. I have taken a reference variable. Okay. This is known as what variable? Reference variable. For whom? Employee repository. Now what we need to do? Here I am taking one more method. Add employee details. By using what? Add employee. Because form is giving that only now. Form click what? Add employee. Add employee means it will go to that method only. It will go to here. It will take all the data. And what I am telling, array employee repository, you have save method now. You call the save method and store all the data of what? Employee. Again return what? Again index.jsp return to me. Okay, sir, we got an idea. Save this. So like this we have done. So whenever you click submit, it will go to add employee. Add employee will go to the controller and it will take the support of repository. And with the help of repository, it is storing the data in the database. Again, it is returning index.jsp. Okay, now, sir, we wrote the code. Code is ready, but we did not do configuration of H2 database because we don't know what is the driver class, URL, username, password. So now what we need to do, I need to go to the what here? Resources, main resources. Go to the main resources. What you can find? Application.properties file. Open the application.properties file. As I told you, from tomorrow onwards, we are not using this laptop. So 8 GB RAM, that's why it is getting slow. You can see this. I clicked, it's loading. Okay. So like you people, it will take a lot of time. Okay. Okay, now what we got it? Application dot properties file. First we need to write server port. Server port. Next is what? Spring data source, driver, URL, username, password. Spring data source, Spring data source. See everybody. Even next we need to take H2 database. So here what I am going to do after this, don't focus all on this. Yes. You focus on this one. This is our main part. Tell me which is the server where your application is running now? 9090. See here we should write Spring data source, Spring data source, Spring data source, Spring data source. What? URL, driver class, username, password. Suppose if you want to communicate with a H2 database, you should write this. Did you remember for Oracle we wrote na? Oracle dot, JDBC dot, driver dot. Here you can write Oracle also. But that time don't select H2 dependency. Oracle driver dependency you need to select. So here I am taking, this is the driver class. What's the username? SA, we don't have any password. And I am telling H2 console enable true means, array, I want to see H2 database. You enable the console. And you enable the console, I can see the output in the table. Understood my point here now? So what we need to do for every H2 database? H2 console enable true we need to do. Then only we can see H2 database. Otherwise, we can't see the H2 database. Because it's an embedded database. Na? So if you want to see, you need to write this property. The last we have what here? Spring JPA database platform. This is to interact with Oracle. This is used to interact with H2 database. It's a dialect class. So what is the purpose of dialect class? You know, this class will describe to which database you want to communicate. So now tell me to which database? H2 dialect means I want to communicate with H2 database. And sir, what is this? So what is this hibernate.ddl-auto update? Sir, did you create the table? Did you create employee table? What happened in JDBC? Naveen. So in JDBC, we need to write the table. We need to create the table. Then only we can insert the data. But here it is not like that. So which property will create automatic table? DDL, hibernate.ddl-auto. Update you should write. So what it will do, it will check first. Array, the table is available or not available. Not available, it will create the table. So you don't need to create the table manually. But see the JDBC. In JDBC, we cannot insert the data until and unless the table is ready. But see here speciality, you use only this property in properties file. Automatically the table will be created if the table is not available. Understood my point here now? Understood why we are writing 111 property? So this is to communicate with what? H2 database. It is to create the tables, to modify the tables also. Assume that already you have table with employee ID, employee name, employee salary. Now you want to add employee date of joining also. So update will update it. It will add extra column also in existing table. Understood my point here now? So like that it is having more advantages. This is what we should write to communicate with H2 database. Now your project is ready, safe. Your project is ready. Now I need to run this project. How to run the project? Right click, run as Spring Boot. Okay. So come down here. What is started? Tomcat. Which port number? 9090. See here. What I will give http://localhost 9090 slash only. First time what you gave? Slash only. Why slash? If you don't write also slash will come. So slash means it will give index.jsp. What is giving? Index.jsp. And now I am giving ID. Tell me the ID. 101. Okay. Name. Sorry. Lucy. Okay. Salary. 10,000. Okay. Now what I need to click? Submit. Again it is returning what? Index.jsp. But now where we need to check the data? Database now. You enable the console or not? If you enable the console means you can see. So what we should do? Now again you type http://localhost 9090/h2-console. What you type? h2-console. Enter. What is asking? Driver class, URL, username, password. So you check once. Array, whatever the username, password I gave here, this is my URL. Array, same URL available or not available, check. If it's not available, you do copy paste. If it's not available, what you need to do? Copy paste. In case of driver class, paste driver class. In case of URL, copy paste URL. Then what you need to do? Test connection. Click test connection. What is coming? Text successful. If it's coming this, then only go for what? Connect. Now you can see which table came? Employees. Select. Run. 101 Lucy 10,000. Understood my point here now? So where we can see this data? H2 database. H2 database we can see like this. Got an idea, everybody? Yes, sir. So like this we can do. Online people understood? Simple. Over. Today's example over. Understood my point here now? So remember, as I told you, this program, if you are not practicing, you will not understand next example, and next example will be there for 1.5 hour session. Why? Because we are not doing only what here? Insert operation. We will do what here? Select, update, delete. That operation also we will do. So definitely it will take a lot of time. And second thing I will tell you what is the drawback. You go to the controller. You go to that controller, employee controller, you go. Go to the employee controller. Tell me which annotation you are using here? @controller annotation. And you know, @controller annotation will give you only JSP output only. Only which output? JSP. See everywhere what is you are returning? JSP page, JSP page, JSP page returning. Yes or no? Tell me. Everywhere you can return JSP page only. Otherwise, you can return string. First program, I love Spring Boot programming. But actually, we did not return. We wrote in SOP. So, @controller will return only one file, only one output, that is JSP. But tomorrow my requirement is I want to return string. Tomorrow I want to return API. Tomorrow I want to return some other format. So can we use @controller annotation? No, we need to use REST controller annotation. Understood the difference? If you need output JSP, then you go to the what? @controller. If you don't need JSP output, then you need to go to @REST controller. R capital, C capital, single word. REST, REST, REST controller. Understood my point here now? So tomorrow we are not working with controller now. We are working with what? REST controller. So definitely when we are working with REST controller, we will take the support of REST annotations. REST annotations means in controller annotation, every time we are taking request mapping, for inserting the data also request mapping, for updating the data also request mapping, for deleting also we are taking request mapping. But in the REST controller, for reading the data, get mapping. For deleting the data, delete mapping. For updating the data, put mapping. If you want to insert the data, post mapping. So we have different annotation. So you tell me, working with @controller is good or working with @REST controller is good? Because in the real time, we are not working with JSP. JSP is outdated. Don't learn JSP now. So in the real time, what we will do, we will return APIs. What we will return? APIs. APIs will be there in the form of JSON. Suppose if you want to return JSON output, if you want to return string output, if you want to return other format of output, that time we need to take the support of REST controller. Understood my point here now? So this is enough for today, sir.